Hello all and welcome to another episode of Paranormal Contact. What am I going to talk to you about today? We're going to talk about the witching hour. So, what's the witching hour? Where did it come from? The witching hour is an hour that's associated with paranormal events. It's a time when ghosts are supposedly most likely to appear. Now, I think we all know that you can see ghosts at any time of the day or night, but their energy is supposed to be strongest between the hours of 3 and 4 o'clock in the evening. So that's when they're strongest. Now, where did all this come from? Where did it start? Well, we go back to one of my favourites, the old Catholic Church. Aren't they wonderful? So during the 1500s, the Catholic Church was persecuting pagans, basically because they thought there were witchcraft, and they were using that to harm people, to cause plagues, all sorts of convoluted reasons were put out there. So they decided that there could be no activity between the hours of 3 and 4 at night, because that was when witches, demons, all those types of things were at their strongest, and they would not tolerate people being active during those hours. So is there any truth to them being stronger between the hours of 3 and 4 o'clock? I don't know, but I do know that it's quite an odd thing. I often wake up bang on 3 o'clock at night, and it's a funny time in the evening, and you certainly do feel a lot of energies around at those times. So maybe there is some truth in it. So what I would say to you is, next time you find yourself wide awake and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, just be careful what you encounter. Just be careful what you see, and be careful what's watching you. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of it. All the best from Paranormal Contact.
Oh, hi. You've got me for the second half of this video, and I'm going to talk about something which used to affect me quite a lot in my 20s, but not so much now, and it is sleep paralysis. There are many different causes to sleep paralysis. You have the health reason, which is where your brain is completely awake, but your body is still in its sleep mode. You can still move your eyes, you can still breathe, but your body feels like it's in this kind of paralyzed, tingly, kind of buzzy kind of state is the best way I can put it. This isn't a sign of any major health issue in the future, and they don't last that long either. They can last up to a couple of seconds or up to a couple of minutes, and that couple of minutes can sometimes feel like a lifetime. There's also a nutritional factor apparently to do with sleep paralysis, as in it's a potassium deficiency, where you need to introduce more potassium into your diet. And then you have the supernatural route, which they say that it is a demon sat on your chest, or a demon trying to affect you in your sleep. Now, it doesn't matter which one you believe in. All I'm doing in this video is sharing some of my experiences while having one of these episodes. Now, I've had to try and explain this so many times to people, and it's really hard to explain what this actually feels like to go through. And this is the best way that I can put it. It's like you're dreaming that you're dreaming. Okay, so you're having this dream and all this kind of stuff, and then you wake up, you go, oh, and all this kind of stuff, and then these occurrences or whatever's going on in that dream just continues and continues and continues, and it puts you in a real big state of shock and fear, and then you actually wake up, and that is where the frightening bit come from for me. Okay, I remember the very first time I had one of these experiences, and it really did scare me to the point where I didn't actually go back to sleep that night. What I didn't bank on is these occurrences were going to happen throughout the whole of my 20s. Now, if you can imagine a 25-year-old guy, big guy like me, screaming out for his mummy in his sleep, That's how bad it got for me. That's how regular it got for me. It's a very, very terrifying experience in my personal opinion. And it's something which I'm very, very happy not to have these days anymore. Okay. It's a very strange and odd feeling. Prior to actually having the episode, I used to get this kind of buzzy, kind of tingly kind of sensation going through my body and through my head. It's very, very strange. And then the actual episode begins and you just completely out of control of everything which is going on. Certain things that have happened in these episodes for me, it's felt like I've been pulled out of my bed, dragged around my room. And that's one episode. Then you wake up, then you actually properly wake up. It's a very, very frightening experience for me, that being pulled out of bed after thinking that I've already woken up. That stayed with me for quite a long time, and it still stays with me, and it still shows its weary head every now and again in my thoughts. The other experience I had, and this is more connected to kind of the supernatural kind of side of it, and some of the experiences that I've actually had in this house, because I do actually generally believe this house is haunted, is that there was one time where I was having an episode and I could see a tall, dark figure in my room, which is just there. My bed used to run this way, it's now run against the wall. And I used to wake up and I saw this tall, dark figure move from where the wardrobes is to pretty much where I'm sat right now, and it's just constantly watching me. Now, this is the most interesting thing about this episode, is that a few weeks later there was a huge, great big thunderstorm going on outside. And I like watching thunderstorms. There's lots of lightning, so on and so on and so on. You could feel the air was very, very charged. And I think you know where I'm going with this. I get up, turn around from the window. I see that same figure stood by the door. That's more the kind of supernatural side of it. And I'm going to give you a theory of what I think goes on the supernatural side of it. Is that there are many rumors, obviously, to do with a demon being on your chest trying to affect you. But for me, in my own personal opinion, I think that some spirits can use this as an opportunity to show themselves, or it opens up a door for you to be able to see these spirits, because that's exactly how it felt on this occasion. When I had that episode where I saw the tall, dark figure move from there to here, and then seeing it a few weeks later in the middle of the day when I was wide awake, stood there after a big lightning storm, which has charged the air. And it did charge the air because my hairs were stood up on end and all that kind of stuff. Just kind of confirmed, well, it didn't confirm it, but it put this idea in my head that maybe while having this episode, while you're kind of in this world, but you're not, it feels like you're in a different realm at a certain point. That was an opportunity for me to see the spirits that could be actually potentially in this house. It's a theory or a thought that I've carried for quite a few years. I'm just wondering if anybody else has had this kind of experience to do with seeing other spirits while having one of these episodes. I know that the scientific reasons say you hallucinate, but with the thunderstorm a few weeks later, it just makes it very, very interesting for me. Like I said, I've had many, many, many other experiences of sleep paralysis. Luckily, I get little telltale warning signs when an episode is coming, and that's mainly because I get this kind of like buzzing in my brain. Okay, it's like a buzzing, staticky kind of charge going on in my brain, and normally when I have that, I just force myself to get up and just sit, take a drink of water, relax, calm down, and then I can go back to bed and actually have a good night's sleep. There are many, many other different little things that go on in sleep paralysis, which I'm not going to talk about because it does generally actually still frighten me. No matter what causes it, it's still a very, very terrifying experience, which anybody that's suffered from it, I know how it feels. And I just want to share with you some of my experiences of this. So on that note, I hope everybody has a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care and goodbye.